I set out to write a book that was not going to be a book about how advertising works, because I didn't think there was an answer to that question of how does advertising work. Instead, I set out to write a book about how do people think advertising works, or how have they thought advertising works over the last 100 years or so. And actually, in a funny way, having done that, I think it may be a bit closer to answering the question how advertising works after all.
Will people with different views about how advertising works be able to read your book and think that they were right? Or, you know, does it support multiple points of view?
It does support multiple points of view. I hope that's how people will react. I don't know how people will react. I think they'll all see that they were partially in the right, but maybe I would like it if they also found a bit more respect for maybe other points of view, which they might have considered to be wrong, shall we say.
Yeah. Do you think organisational cultures and agencies are able to be that multi-dimensional, to be able to look at every problem anew and select from every available philosophy? Or will they will tend towards a set of habits?
Well, that's the challenge. That's the practical challenge, and that is actually the thing that may well get in the way of being able to do what I'm talking about. But I think any organisation can get better at this as long as they're prepared to have a more open conversation about it. That idea of keeping the conversation open, rather than digging your heels in and saying it has to be like this or it has to be like that. If you will actually listen to each other, and if you're prepared to explore possibilities without being too attached to any simplistic idea of how it works, then you'll be able to get better results. And looking back over my career, all the best campaigns we did, that was exactly how we did it. It was by keeping that conversation open. It was hard work, it was uncomfortable, it was painful. It's much easier sometimes to run away from it and just have a hissy fit, but actually the way you got there was by listening to each other and keeping that conversation open.
Do you think, I mean, in the industry now, I mean, the thing that's fascinating for me in reading it is there are things that are just accepted about this is just the way the world works, where you actually go back and go, this is the person who first thought of that and wrote it down, and this is why they did it. Do you think that stuff is well understood, or is this going to be a revelation to lots of people?
I don't think it's widely understood. It took me a while to discover it over the years that I was working in the business and since then. So I think people don't pay enough attention to the history. I'm hoping that this will be a good story that people will enjoy.
And remind us what it's called and when it's out?
It's called The Anatomy of Humbug, How to Think Differently About Advertising. It should be available very soon. The official launch date is February 28th.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.